Hi friends, Dr. MVRao here. Today we are going to discuss cognitive errors, also called cognitive distortions, errors in thinking pattern itself. Psychologists and doctors do cognitive behavior therapy for these thinking errors. If we can correct these thinking errors, we can get a lot of success in our lives. Self-failure is mostly due to these thinking errors, which is difficult to recognize because they are done subconsciously, not consciously. If you like the video, give a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. We'll discuss about 10 cognitive errors this time. There are more than 25. In the second episode, we'll take up the remaining cognitive errors. Number one is all or nothing thinking, also called black and white thinking or polarized thinking. Extreme form of thinking or either or thinking, either good or bad, nothing in between. This man is good, this man is bad, this is wrong, this is right. So most of the personality disorder people, narcissists, borderline personality disorder, such people have this type of thinking, and ordinary people also, a lot of people have the cognitive error of this kind. CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, works for all these cognitive errors in thinking. Small mistakes also, they consider it as big ones and think that I am a failure, I am a jerk, all or nothing. All policemen are bad, some people think. All politicians are rowdies, some people think like that. So not all people can be like that. That is also called over-generalization. All the people from this village tell lies. They don't stand on their words, they think. So this is called all or nothing thinking and also over-generalization. With a little mistake that you do, you think you are a failure. That is over-generalization. With one mistake, you think you are a failure. That is called over-generalization. They use words like always. I always make mistakes. I am never appreciated by anyone. Usually, post-traumatic disordered people get these types of thoughts. After a single event, they imagine broadly, they overgeneralize. For example, when they play cards, say they get a number called 9. So once or twice when this pattern continues, they think 9 is their lucky number. Whenever 9 comes, he thinks he is going to succeed. That is called overgeneralization. Mental filtration, the third one. They filter out all the positives and they take one single small negative incident and they think they are failures. They get hurt. they think in a negative pattern. Their partners are suffering from this problem. If the partner does a little wrong thing, he filters all the positives from morning to evening what they did and remembers only the small negatives she did. It leads to hopelessness and helplessness. So it is called mental filtration. Discounting the positive, the fourth one. From morning to evening, so many successes, good things, wins have occurred. They forget all this. One small negative failure that occurred, somebody said something, somebody commented something, and he keeps on focusing on the negative throughout the day. He won't forget it for a number of days. So discounting the positives, this is another cognitive error. Jumping to conclusions. By seeing one small incident, he jumps to conclusion. One failure by his daughter or son, he thinks the daughter or son are idiots, good for nothing. They are total failures, they think. All these errors, they match with one another. If one has one or two errors, they will have many more errors of that kind. They are almost similar ones. The next one is magnification and minimization. Small incidents, they magnify with a magnifying lens, also called making mountains out of molehills. Suppose a friend who has been in very good relation with this man, one day in the bazaar, if he doesn't see him and wish him, he thinks he has some grudge inside. He magnifies it. He cuts off all relationship with him. For a small incident, this man has done this. This type of thinking is called magnification or catastrophizing. Small incident, one small failure in a subject, he thinks his life is over. He can't go further in his studies. He is a total failure, he thinks. Then there is another cognitive error called emotional reasoning. He feels like that and he reasons the other man is bad. The other man, when he doesn't look at him and he is busy with some other work, he jumps to conclusion that he is not caring, he is not a good person, he is a bad person, like that, jumping to conclusions and emotional reasoning. Because he felt like that, he thinks he is bad. Because I feel, because feelings are nothing, should not care much about feeling. You are just feeling like that because of your thinking process. So correct your thoughts, correct your thinkings, disorganized thoughts, cognitive errors, thinking errors you correct. Then there is another thinking error called should and must. You should do it. By any means I must. Because today is festival, I must wear new clothes. Because today is festival, my children must do this. My children must pray to God. No, the children are not interested, they won't pray. The decision is left to them. So there is no must and should. I prefer to do this. I would be happy if they do that. You can't dictate anybody. Then Labeling and mislabeling, another cognitive error. You see this when you go to school, the teacher labels a person as stupid, idiot, like that. If you give a label, then it spoils the whole life of that child. Never label a person by simply observing one or two things. You are a lazy boy, some people say. Then he becomes lazier later on. So don't label people. Personalization and blaming, another cognitive error. If somebody talks something there, some talk is going on, he thinks it is being personalized. He thinks it is said to him. Personalization. Supposing a mother sees the progress card, some lesser grade in her daughter's progress card, there are so many reasons for that. The daughter may not be, maybe sick on that day, or the teacher hasn't given marks for some other reason. But the mother personalizes it. She thinks it is her fault. She has not trained the child properly. For small reason, she personalizes and then blames herself. So taking everything personally, this is not good, and these are some of the cognitive errors, about 10 cognitive errors we have named so far. So don't blame others for your wrong thinking. You can develop by self-recognizing, being aware of all these errors, and then correct yourself. Or you go to a therapist. They do what is called counseling, CBT counseling, cognitive behavior therapy. Then you can change your thinking pattern from negative to positive. It's easy, but you must practice. So a lot of people have this negativity in their lives. If you want to become positive, you have to correct these negative cognitive errors. Cognitive errors are mostly negative, and you can't recognize them because they are subconsciously hidden, and from childhood it became a pattern. Thank you for keen listening, and if you like, you share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel by pressing the bell button. Thank you very much.